The woodland here at Capercaillie is a substantial part of Scotland's Caledonian woodland. It's a designated site on account of its native woodland and all of the species within it. It's also an SPA, a special protection area for Capercaillie, crossbills and crested tits. So there's a lot going on in the landscape.
The capercaillie is native to Scotland, but in the late 18th century the bird went extinct because there was very little forest left due to forest clearance. But then in the early 19th century, some landowners decided to reintroduce the species. So we're standing here in a pine wood in Strathspey, and this is managed primarily for timber production. Luckily, the management of this sort of pine is entirely compatible with capercaillie conservation, because when you thin this forest, it manages the light hitting the forest floor, which encourages blaeberry growth, Vaccinium myrtillus, which is a key plant for capercaillie.
Annually within the forest here, we monitor the lekking areas for capercaillie and black grouse. And the lekking areas are a special place where the birds gather in the springtime. It's somewhere where they fight and dance and display and hopefully mate for future generations of these birds. We recognise the importance of conservation of capper for one reason these days, and that is to stop them going extinct. The capper are declining in Scotland. During the last national survey, we lost 54% in a 5-year period.
If we don't act very rapidly, the bird is almost certainly going to go extinct, and that's what the population trajectories at the minute indicate. So Scottish Forestry gives grants to help land managers.
This grant has allowed us to do several things in regards to conservation of capercaillie. We're expanding the woodland through deer management, targeted predator control, giving the ground nesting birds best chance of rearing young. We've also been robo-cutting, so managing the vegetation with robo-cutters and swipes. This woodland regeneration that we see here is taking place in an unfenced environment, and it's taking place in the presence of a managed deer herd.
The research has indicated that deer fencing was a problem for capercaillie, and a lot of the dispersing birds were colliding with fences. So Scottish Forestry funded the marking and removal of fences, so that's been enormously beneficial. Scottish Forestry has been involved with Aberdeen University looking at diversionary feeding of predators. So that is essentially giving pine martens free food to divert them from capercaillie nests. And this has been incredibly successful, such that it doubled capercaillie productivity in these forests and turned the population graph from a decline to an increase. The Scottish Forestry disburses grants for things like fence removal and predator control for capercaillie. Both of these actions are science-based and effective in management actions.
So we're using the grant scheme to subsidise a little bit of what we do to allow this woodland to restore itself. So it's up to us as land managers to do everything we can within our power to conserve these species for themselves, for these designated areas and for Scotland's people, future generations to come.